Ahead on Daytime Buffalo, writer and director Sarah Schwab stops by ahead of her film screening at North Park Theater. And we get into the spring spirit with some rosé wine at Georgetown Square Wine and Liquor. It's all coming up right now on Daytime Buffalo. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to Daytime Buffalo. I'm your host, Chelsea Lavelle. Our first guest today is Buffalo native and feature filmmaker Sarah Schwab. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. You're here today because your feature film, A Stage of Twilight, is being screened at North Park Theater this weekend. So why don't you tell us about the film?
So, Stage of Twilight has been about an 8-year process in the making.
Wow.
It started as an off-Broadway theater piece in New York City, and a good friend, Karen Allen, helped me with the piece, and we did readings in New York, Cherry Lane, Dorset Theater, Vermont. We did some in Massachusetts, and we were just getting close to having it be a stage play with actor Jeffrey DeMunn that a lot of people will know from the TV show Billions. And then COVID hit, and theater went to rest for a little while. So that's when Karen and I made the decision to turn it into a feature film. So I rewrote the script, and within a year we were shooting.
Tell us about the plot. What's the story about?
The story is about a couple that has been married for over 40 years, and the husband gets a terminal diagnosis, and he makes a decision that he does not want to see his wife see him go through the process, the uneasy process of slowly passing away. And he makes a decision for the two of them that she is not in agreement with. So the drama of the story is really asking the question, who gets to decide how, when, where you die? And I think those are really important questions.
What was the inspiration behind the storyline for you?
There are two inspirations. One, my father, Jerry Schwab, who is a local from Buffalo, many knew from my hometown, Eden, New York. And he was diagnosed with cancer when I was 15 years old. He went through chemo and radiation and unfortunately ended up passing away. And he had the courage to have a lot of uncomfortable conversations about end of life with me. And some of those conversations ended up verbatim in the movie. And that's the first inspiration. The second one is I really wanted to show the love between my parents, and I feel so grateful. Both are Buffalo natives through and through. So,
tell us about the cast that you have. We're seeing them now in parts of the film. They're pretty big names and experienced actors, right?
Yeah. Most of them are off-Broadway theater actors, a lot of them from New York City, a few from LA. William Sadler is actually a Buffalo native too, ironically, who ended up playing the role of Barry. So like I said, I met Karen Allen through off-Broadway theater in New York. William Sadler came on board because she's friends with another great actor named Stephen Lang, who was unable to do the role because he's in Avatar. He plays the bad guy in Avatar.
Oh, wow.
But Stephen Lang is really good friends with Bill, and he's the one that suggested that he'd be perfect for the part, and he really was.
Amazing. How does it feel for you to come back to Buffalo and share this work that you've been working on, with your own community?
I love coming back to my hometown. I mean, these are my roots, and this will be the third film that we're screening at North Park Theater, so that feels very special to have a local home base that supports independent work. We did our first short film, My Name Is, for the Buffalo International Film Festival and ended up winning that year, Best Short Film. We had our second feature film, Life After You, and now A Stage of Twilight, and it feels very special and heartwarming.
At North Park, the screenings this weekend, there's actually going to be a Q&A portion. Tell us about that.
So our first screening is this evening at 7 o'clock p.m. And co-producer Brian Long and I will be there afterward to do the Q&A. And then tomorrow, Saturday, we have a screening at 4:20. And after that screening, Brian and I will be there available to do the Q&A as well. And what we typically like to do is go out with people afterward if they want to socialize and talk more in depth about the film in the area and just have conversations.
Western New York has a very budding and growing film industry right now. It's really, really blossoming. What advice do you have for some younger people that are starting out and really looking to make it? Because clearly you've had some success.
It's a hard road, and you need to have a lot of passion. So make sure that this is what you want to do, but don't ever feel limited by the hardships. If you have the true heart and the stories, and the world, there's no limit to any world that you want to do it. And I love that Buffalo is growing in its art system and it's supporting local artists. So keep on rocking.
Do you have any more projects planned for the future?
We recently finished our third feature film, a psychological thriller called Crybaby Bridge. That was shot in the Pocono Mountains, PA, Pennsylvania, where I currently have a house, and I split my time between New York City and there. And then we have two other feature projects that we're in pre-production for. One, Karen Allen will be directing, which is exciting. It'll be her first feature film. And the second is another psychological thriller / horror that I wrote and will be directing. And we're hoping to do that in the spring and the fall of 2025.
Alrighty, Buffalo actors, look out. She will be casting soon. Now, again, A Stage of Twilight is being screened this weekend at North Park Theater. You can check showtimes and get tickets at northparktheater.org. Thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me.